Hey, Julie.
Can you?
Hey, Julie.
There I am.
There you are.
Sorry, can you see me okay?
I can.
Sorry, I
You're
was
looking
trying
very
to get
lovely today, Julie.
Thanks. I was trying to get the space retweeted on Twitter, as everyone else should also do, and my computer decided to crash at that moment because that was too much thought process for it to do at one time. But that's okay.
I'm just trying to stop GoDaddy from trying to sell me a bunch of domains I don't want.
I feel like that might be an ongoing struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay, though, because it's Monday Night Domains. Do you want to tell us what names are trying to sell you and why you don't want them?
I will, but I'll wait till we get to the meat of tonight's episode to do that.
Okay.
But how you doing, Julie? Thanks for holding down the fort last week.
We survived without you.
Thanks for everyone supporting Julie last week. Let's see. Let me retweet the room here.
If everyone else wants to also retweet the room, the more people in here, the more names we talk about, which is even more exciting. But yeah, if you missed it last week, feel free to go watch the replay. We watched some pretty cool education videos together. Just me and y'all. It was pretty fun. Oh, Hedgehog says I did great. Thank you.
Aww.
So
all right,
we had a fun time.
Yeah, I went to my X and it's right there, live with Restream. So I'm going to comment on my live Restream that's on my X, which is at Joe Domains. And so if anyone wants to comment there also, you can go to on Twitter or X, you can go to at Joe Domains and you'll see it. And then if you comment or you comment on my comment, that's our little hack I've learned from my meme coin fans, that a comment on a comment is like a 20x compared to just a reply or a like or something like that.
For the algorithms.
Yes. And it'll only last until everyone else figures that out, and then we'll have to find a new thing. But we earn all of our traffic, right, Julie? We don't need tricks and hacks. We earn traffic.
We're just that good. So, welcome to Monday Night Domains, everybody. Great to have you. Dad, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, I think what I thought we'd do is we are going to have a little follow the watch party script, and I'm going to play two very influential videos that affected me. These will be almost 15-year-old videos. It's kind of take everybody on my journey, and we're going to hear from two of the smartest people in the space.
I thought we were already hearing about two of the smartest people.
There you go.
Okay, sorry.
And we're gonna listen to a little bit from Frank Schilling and from Jeff Gabriel. And Frank Schilling is one of the rock stars of our business. He's our private jet flying, island owning, cashing out for hundreds of millions domain investor, but started sitting at a computer thinking up a name and typing it in. So that has been the amazing power of domains for me, has been that just thinking up words and thinking up uses can take you to as high as you want to go. And that was my wish for Julie when we started this journey and this venture. And then Jeff Gabriel, Frank hired Jeff because Jeff had been a salesman at a number of different places, and he built probably the largest brokerage team at the time ever assembled. And so he is probably, if you think about his brokers handling inquiries with his method, he's probably been responsible for more domain sales through brokers than almost anyone out there. So I thought we'd get to those later.
Sounds good. Are these two people, are they still in domain investing, or are they long retired?
Frank has retired from domain investing. He lives on the Cayman Islands. He's now developing a waterfront resort and doing all kinds of other things. Jeff Gabriel is in the space. I recommend his podcast at saw.com, SAW. So like I saw this domain, I saw it here. And he does podcasts. He is a broker. He's got a landing page solution, and he's highly recommended. So
cool. Do you know how to get the screen shared and let us watch?
Well, I sent you a link. That featured both of these videos on a website called Domain Gang. And Domain Gang, I'll give you a public service warning, is a parody website, meaning some of the posts are completely untrue. You can think about it like an April Fool's Day post that happens all year long. And some of the posts are true. And so, but if you see a post that says domain name system to end in 1 month, all domains expire, then that's parody. But if you see one where it says this post is 100% true, then it's true. So anyway,
is this post 100% true?
Yes.
All right.
So do you want me to share my screen? Do you want to see how that works, or do you want to be at the controls, so to speak?
We can do whatever makes your heart the happiest.
Let's see. Yeah, go for it. Were you able to find the link?
Yeah, I got it open.
Okay. And so the link you have is a website page on Domain Gang. Full credit to Domain Gang. And then we'll watch that top video, and then you can full screen it. And this is going to be Frank Schilling on YouTube, The Value of Better Domain Names.
All right, Frank.
And then we're going to put on captions.
I've heard it said that.
Do what now?
We're going to go ahead and hit the CC button, and we'll do captions in English if it's not your first language, but you can read English, or you can set your captions. Well, actually, you can't, because we're going to share it. So we're doing a watch party.
Sweet. I think there is a way to get captions on Spaces, FYI, but that's something I can work into later.
All right, so you're full screen. So let's listen to Frank, and he's a minute 43. So this will be a short one, and then we can see what Julie thinks about Frank's video. I'm really anxious to see your feedback.
Okay. Take it away, Frank.
Domain names have gone up faster than any other commodity known to man.
To me, a domain name is the first step that people take when they're starting a business or have an invention or an idea. In this day and age, that's where it begins.
The internet is growing profoundly. Population on the planet swelling. All these people are going to want to have an identity online. So much real estate or land, if you will, there are only so many unique, meaningful identifiers for people to describe themselves. There are a finite number of search terms, and there are a finite number of dictionary words, and there are certainly a finite number of compound phrases in the English language and in other languages. For the most part, meaningful, generic, descriptive domain names have held their value and gone up in value significantly and consistently over the last 10 years.
Yeah, we'll break it up, Julie. So we're really talking about some foundational things, and I think he just brought up this idea of scarcity. And sometimes the basics are the most important thing to remember. There is an unlimited amount of domain names possible. Any combination of whatever it is, 28 letters or something, the most you can have. But there's a finite number of words that mean something. There's a finite number of identifiers. There's a finite number of phrases in English, and then you apply them to other languages. Would you agree or disagree, Julie? Is there a finite number of good words and phrases?
Yes. So I was debating if I was going to say I agreed or disagreed with him. And I think he's right. There is an infinite number of domain names. But there's a finite number of good domain names. Yes, you can have a 26-letter combination name. That's not going to do anything for you, for your brand, for your site, for nothing. That's going to make me think that you're probably a hacker. So, there is only, because even as you get into an infinite combination of actual real English words, how many are actually worth typing in? How many can someone remember in that order correctly? How many can someone hear and be able to type radio test? So I think he's 100% right.
And in some ways, as you were sharing that, Julie, I thought about Bitcoin.
Okay.
One of the big benefits of Bitcoin is that there is a finite number of Bitcoin. There will
Yes.
only ever be 21 million. I think as that said, 21 million. Some of our crypto people can help me. Number of Bitcoin. And that adds to the value, and that the more demand grows with only a certain supply, those people have to fight for those ones that exist. And I think it's that base scarcity that you want to remember. Now, as a domain investor, your first thought once you've bought a domain is, my domain is awesome. Everyone should want my domain. And you picture your domain being the most important thing in the world. And how can everyone else in the world love it? Because you have to have them love it to pay you a premium price.
Right.
So, Julie, have you ever walked into a store, a clothing store, a fashion store, a resale shop, and not bought anything but looked at everything?
Yes. It's my favorite hobby.
So you can do the same in domain names, and your item can be featured and people can look at it. But if I could give you one piece of advice as an investor, you only want to be in names where they'll cross that divide and say, I want to buy it, which means first they put it in their cart or their shopping bag. And then as they're going to check out, they tell themselves again, yes, I want this.
Yeah.
So I think Frank's comment, there's a finite number of words and a finite number of compound words, what we call two-word domain names, because they're not all alike. You know, like beauty salon, we have a hedgehog likes this. He's got Salon de Belleza. Anyway,
Cool.
and so one of the places that still like domain investors is to pursue other language domain names. But I will tell you that you're early probably in doing that. Again, if you buy them and you hope everyone else is going to want these now, that's hard, because up until today, no one wanted the name if you hand register it. But yes, I think you can picture times in the future when other language domain names, but I would be very greedy, and I would for every one domain you buy in another language, I would have hoped you would at least put 10 to 20 on a maybe list. And then pick one out of those 10 to 20 would be my advice. What do you think, Julie? Is that too much discipline for people to have when they want to just buy if they're only $11?
Yes, but I think my thing would be, if it's not taught in a high school foreign language class, I feel like it's not worth it.
That's a great analogy.
I think that would be my rule for foreign language domains. And I also think if they're French, then you should, more likely, especially like French couture, because it is a very chic, like, luxury goods, especially like design French. It doesn't even matter what the word is. If it sounds French, people are in.
My sister took French, my late sister, Heather, and I would email her when I would search, because you can use some of the search tool to only search for one-word domains in other languages. So I could search for one-word domains in Italian, in French, in German, in Finnish, and different things like that. And so if I saw one that I thought I'd like, I would reach out to her. And the reason I did it was because a word can have a dictionary meaning. And the one that I'll use is the word mercantile.
Sorry,
Julie, have you ever used the word mercantile this year?
Yes, but there's a really cute little restaurant in Cincinnati named that, so I'm biased.
Gotcha, but I mean as its generic meaning, because it means store.
No.
But if you looked it up in an English dictionary and you saw mercantile and it said it means store or place to shop, you would go, oh my gosh, I'm buying store, place to shop, and you would buy it. Now it's still a good name. I mean, it's not worth nothing. It would still, it's probably a $5,000 name, but that's the way I think about it. Is I could be looking up words in other languages that technically mean something, but obviously store.com or shop.com would be worth $1 to $5 million. Mercantile.com would be worth 15,000 maybe. And that's what I always tell myself when I'm looking at name in the other languages. So Hedgehog likes his name. But what you want to be thinking about when you're investing real money in domains, and what I mean by that is the first thing I always ask people when I do domain coaching is, why are you doing it? And if they're like, I'm totally addicted to it, I'm going to buy domains every night, it's fun, I'm having a great time, I don't want to give that person advice on how to spend every dollar like it was their last dollar, because it's fintainment. You know what I mean? You spend money on domains like it's an expense. It's gone. And guess what? You get a year before you finally lose, and you have to pay for it again, right? So I think, buying your own domains. But if you really are investing capital, you're taking $1,000 out of somewhere else, the bank, treasury bonds, piece of real estate where it's worth something, then I think you want to be tougher on yourself and you want to buy names that are distinctive. So I think Frank's first comment is that there's a finite number of good phrases. And what I'll tell you is people want the best. If you look at something in a store and it's almost what you want, the distance between exactly what you want and almost what you want can be a long way.
Yeah. I think what's
go ahead, Julie.
Into consideration is kind of like the movie theater soda prices situation, where if I can get a large for 20 cents more, I'm going to get a large. So if you have a name and someone can get the best one and you have the second best one, kind of look at the gap there and see, because if it's only going to be an extra $1,000, if it's a business or something, they're going to go for the best. So something to keep in mind.
All right, let's keep going. See what Frank has for us.
I'm in. Let's see.
Corporations and individuals throughout the world are starting to realize its value and the power that it can deliver.
The domain name itself is often the most valuable asset any company has. It's one of the most misunderstood assets. There's nothing I can think of that you can buy in the hundreds or the thousands of dollars, or even in the tens of thousands of dollars, that could be worth in the millions of dollars.
Now that the world has become more digitized, buyers of these domain names are becoming a lot more savvy and understanding of the value of a domain name.
Valuable and generic domain names are so rare, there just aren't enough good ones to go around for the billions of people who want to make an impression online, who want to better their lives. Everybody has those dreams, and the domain name is the most foundational asset of those dreams as it relates to things online.
That dreams. What do you think, Julie? If you were in marketing class and they talked about selling dreams, would you get an A on that paper? Oh, I lost your sound.
If his assignment was to get people super excited for domains, I think he gets an A+.
And this is back when Frank was extraordinary in our business, because for a long time, he didn't sell any of his names. He had hundreds of thousands of names and he parked them. He made money from people just coming in. And he was like, why would I ever sell this? Why would I ever sell this name when I can just sit there and make money off of it? And when he decided to sell, he looked around and he said, there's no platform out there that I like to sell my names. And he built his own. And the reason it's timely that we talk about it this week is that platform called Domain Name Sales was fantastic. And it was built for domain investors with a domain investor point of mind.
Yeah.
And like many companies, when Frank sold his portfolio and that company to GoDaddy, over time, GoDaddy deprecated and got rid of many of the features that were put in there to be attractive to domain investors.
I'm noticing a pattern.
And then this week, tomorrow, Dan, which used to be called Undeveloped, is going to go away. And it's another example of GoDaddy buying a company that was a better mousetrap, that was built to gain market share. And the way you gain market share is you deliver a better product that meets the objectives of the customers. You know what I mean? Once the domain in business right now is really ruled by private equity owned companies, and they take the attitude that you have to do business with them. How can they extract the most profit they can? And I'm not faulting them for that. I'm just saying that we've gone a lot of time without innovative startups who, to get market share, have to do new and different things. So this week, a couple new companies are taking advantage of Dan leaving and coming up with new and different things. And then this will be a good time for me to mention our sponsor, Freename, who between now and the end of the year will have 2 new things. And you have this second mover advantage where you get to look at what's out there and fill some of the gaps. But Frank's platform was fantastic. If I was still on Frank's platform, if I wanted to, Julie, I could download a Excel file of all the email addresses of anyone that had ever inquired on my domain names.
Oh my
I
God.
would have that data myself to be able to continue to develop relationships with them or just track everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just that's an example of it, because he knew that everyone knew him, and he would be going to conferences and shows, and people would be trying out his product. And you don't want someone to go, oh, that stinks, or yeah, it's really nice, Frank, but I'll never use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he used it. So anyway, but I think the 2 most powerful things he said is that a domain name is a misunderstood asset. I believe it still is. And it's wrapped into everything you're doing with an online business. It's wrapped into everything. So it is an owner or a CEO decision. It's made early. And tell me what you think about this, Julie, with your experience now in the domain name business. Can you picture that right now founders just kind of are on their own to go to GoDaddy or some other registrar to pick a name? But once they pick it, don't you see how they would defend their choice to the bitter end? Because I think they would almost take any criticism, not as honest criticism, but as you picked a bad name.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, because I think also you have to invest a good amount of money. So you really can't start thinking, oh, I actually bought the wrong thing. But I think that's a very good point, that some people don't even know what a domain name, they would search how to build a website. They wouldn't even know they needed to buy a name first. And so I think they're going to be on their own. So then it's, where can I buy one? And it's finding their own way to a registrar. And then by then they're going to be just buying whatever is easy and fast for them, because they've already had to do all the work to get there. That I feel like they have to stand by their choice. Because you can't like I bought some things and I've had friends who were like, do you really want that? Yes, I do. To the day that I die, yes, I do. Because you're not going to tell me I'm wrong. You're not going to. Yeah. I had someone try and tell me not to get a cat.
Oh, there we go. Cat videos. Cat videos bring in the people. They bring in the views.
Oh, do you guys like her? This is Mia. Some people told me not to get her.
All right. Well, I am going to share a couple screenshots. We'll do the next video next week. But I think what hopefully you took from Frank are the absolute basics. Let me make sure I got the right one here. Window, entire screen. Tab, window, hold on, entire screen. All right. Hopefully I don't have anything weird on my screen.
Alrighty.
Let's see, that's us. All right, here we go. All right, so let's talk about the idea that domains are misunderstood, and how to buy a domain name is really misunderstood. So right now, people may remember 15 years ago, GoDaddy did big commercials about domains on the Super Bowl. Since then, most of their commercials haven't been about domains. They've been about empowering small business to open up stores. But say you did, and I'm doing some stuff with meme coins, Julie, and Wojacks, and there's a term out there called GigaChad. And those of you in the meme coin X world have maybe heard that in the crypto world. So, Julie, have you ever heard of? So is like a guy who's got it all together, his money together, his social life together. He's just killing it. And
that's called a GigaChad.
Yeah, because you could be a Chad, which is
Chad's a negative thing.
Well, so
unless you're
let's see.
Chad.
Can you see images here?
Okay, you know what? So you're just like the ultimate bro dude.
Exactly. And so
Okay.
a Chad is the ultimate, is a bro dude, and a Giga Chad is the ultimate bro dude. So this is truly a meme. And the opposite of a Chad is the Wojak, which is the forlorn, socially isolated guy right here. Can you see that one?
Oh yeah.
So say you're listening to a space, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I never heard about that term. I want to get some domain names. So I'm going to go see if gigachad.com is available. So this is the experience we give people. We tell them it's not available, and GoDaddy's first thought is pay us $120 and you can use a broker to find out if you can buy the domain. Doesn't say you're going to get it. Doesn't even say if it's for sale. Doesn't tell you how much. Then they give you a choice because there's 300 million or there's 150 million .coms taken. The best thing they could come up with artificial intelligence is chad-giga.com. So how would you rank the desirability of chad-giga.com versus GigaChad?
That's so bad.
And that's what we show people, because a computer would go, oh, it's the same words, just reversed, and it's got a hyphen, but it doesn't know that people don't like hyphens. Now, the other thing that's happened in the past 10 years is that over 1,000 new extensions were given out, like .shop, .solutions, and .sucks here. So I will give GoDaddy credit in that they are showing me gigachad.shop, which is $1.49, Julie, for the first year.
That ain't bad. What's the renewal? I have you on too small of a screen for me to see the renewal.
It's $48 a year after that.
Okay, so that's how they're starting to get people, is with the low price, high renewal fees.
Right, because their choice is to market and reach customers or just lower the price. And the domain industry has gone for lower the price. So you have an enormous ability to buy it for $1.49, which is almost nothing. You get to operate it for a whole year. And then if you have made a nice site and you want it, then they're betting you're going to keep going a year from now and pay $48 a year. But that's actually a pretty good choice, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they did that for free. Now, these other ones, gigachad.solutions, that's only a penny if you buy 2 years. So it's like, okay, great. So it's not a penny per year. It's a penny for the first year, and then you pay $43 for the next year. So anyway, this is just where they trick you, right?
Interesting marketing tactics.
Then you got gigachad.sucks, and the .sucks domain is there for one reason. They scare you into buying your company's name .sucks to pay $100 the first year and then $400 just because you're afraid someone else will own it. And these all say promoted. So this is like when you search on Amazon or eBay or Expedia and they show you a hotel or paying to get there, right?
It's just not very consumer friendly.
Right. They did give me one for free. I think if this was 5 years ago, I might have got 3 suggestions. But now they're like, hey, we can promote them. Now, the next thing you get is you get a premium domain, which is $1,450. gigachad.xyz.
Okay.
Now that's not bad because the XYZ is a Web3 kind of, extension with the younger generation. And so this is where, as a domain investor, if you list your names on Afternic, they'll be the type of names that GoDaddy will show right here to a new investor.
So does Afternic pay to have the names listed on there promoted on GoDaddy?
No, but when you sell the domain name, you pay Afternic a 25% commission.
Right.
And part of that commission, it just got raised 3 weeks ago, October 1st.
Oh.
Because if you agree to pay 25%, you're boosted in the results, as opposed to someone who only pays 20% commission.
Gotcha.
So
it's worth it in your experience?
I think that I've had to choose it because I feel like everyone else is. And if I don't, I would actually be penalizing myself.
Interesting.
So this domain, gigachad.xyz, is, I think I know who owns this name.
Really?
I'm searching my own database here. So I keep a list of all my names in an Excel sheet because you always want to know what you own. And if someone's like, hey, do you have any GigaChad domain names? You want to be able to go search a thing. Oh, it's not me. I thought it was because it was priced at $1,450, and that's a price I use a lot. But anyway, so that's owned by a domain investor. Let me go back to this. So what I just did there is I did what's called a whois lookup, and I went to whois.com, and that's one of the few places where you can look up who owns a domain name. And you put it up here in the top right in this box, and it tells me, it doesn't tell you who owns it anymore because they decided that that was private information that shouldn't be shared. Mm-hmm. But it does tell me that someone registered it in June of this year. They have it parked at Dan, and so if I wanted to, I could wait till June of next year and see if they dropped it. But anyway, back to the experience. So then you have finally way down here, okay? They gave me Chad Giga, right, Julie? And say I wanted a .com. I have to go way down here to get my first suggestion of another .com. Giga Chair, Giga Care.
Okay.
And then they give me a .live, which is premium. Then they give me another one, which is Chad. Then they give me a .la, which I was kind of excited to see.
Okay.
Because I'm a .la investor. And I don't think I'm logged in. I was trying to think that maybe they know I like .la. But then they give me gigachad.world. And I just think the buyer's confused because you're like, how come this is $688?
Yeah.
But this is a penny, and then gigachad.homes is $1, but
especially if they're not in the,
what's
don't
that?
understand the .xyz is as valuable as it is.
Say it again.
I said, especially if they're not in the domain space, like they're buying a name for their brand, they don't understand why the XYZ would be priced so much higher. When in theory, in general domain theory, .xyz should be a less valuable TLD than .home. It's not, obviously, but they're not going to understand that necessarily.
Yeah, and I think the thing about the new TLDs is homes could be more valuable than XYZ if you had Nashville.homes, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or luxury or bed and breakfast, or something like that. Yeah. But then if you had Web3 or crypto terms, it'd be the other way around. So the reason .com is still, in my opinion, the easiest choice to go with is it's equal on the right side, so it makes you focus on what's left because it doesn't segment the market. And it's actually one of the reasons I like XYZ because it can almost handle anything, and so you focus on what's to the left. But anyway, now they're not the only ones. If you go to Namecheap, which is the biggest, the second biggest registrar, and you type in GigaChad here, this is an example of the fact that domain companies really want to sell you other stuff. Because look at this website, Julie. Make more online, domains, hosting, WordPress, email, marketing tools, security, right? Buy a domain name and everything else, hosting, quarterly, turbo. They basically said, we're not making money on domains anymore, so we're going to make money on the extra stuff. But they're not really engaging for people that just are starting with a lead me to the best domain. So in this case, they came up with GigaChad. They said it's gone. We could say the net for $9.56. It was funny that GoDaddy didn't suggest the net, which is kind of the second best TLD, right, Julie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they missed. What's that?
Was it taken? I can't see very well.
Oh, I'm sorry. This one is actually premium, $9.56. And then they also show the XYZ. But they show the game and they show a different group of them. Now, I'll give you another registrar that's one of my favorite, which is Domain Cost Club. And I will say the neat thing about Domain Cost Club is they actually show you the popular TLDs. So you could at least look at these and see ComClub, Info.org, website and things. But if you wanted to, you could look for all TLDs. You see this, Julie, what I'm kind of circling?
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually see on one page all these different .miami, .min, .buzz, .business, .builders, .build, .camera, .cfd, .church, .protection, .rehab, right? Look how many there are. And almost all of them now have gone with this pricing of .tn to $5, regular price $35. .tips $7.50, regular price $38. So that's really the only thing that the companies have done is lower the price of these new extensions.
Well, not all of the companies.
Right. That's right. Because CFD has us building community for them. But what's funny about this is even though all these are these low prices, they're still going to give out a new round of these in 2 years. But anyway, back to Frank's comment, it is a misunderstood asset sold in a way that I believe makes it further misunderstood.
Yeah, 100%.
And then people are just left with, you know, what do I do? I'm not happy, you know? Yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to show products and services on Monday Night Domains to do it. Let's see. Hedgehog is chiming in with more domains, thememecoins.com.
Yeah.
He likes him some Let's see. Crypto Reporter, I approve this message. Thank you, Crypto Reporter. I saw your message, SEO, about the forum. I'm probably going to hold off on that tonight. You guys are our homies, man. We love that you're here. Mrs.xyz. There we go. There we go. 3 letters, .xyz. So we'll finish up here soon, Julie. But the one thing I'll tell everybody is in this new domain world, you have to know the extension that you're buying. What is the annual price of it? You can't just assume it's $12 to $15 like .com. Yeah. You need to know, and especially if you're buying a great name, like I bought New York.xyz, and it has an annual premium of $1,200. So you have to be careful sometimes when you see great domains being offered because they may be coming up on their renewal, which requires hundreds or thousands of dollars. And the public has no idea, you know what I mean? And so look at Hedgehog, Mrs. Robo, he's going crazy. What's that?
That's crazy.
He's just registered. All right, Julie, any other questions tonight?
I don't think so. I think we had a great show tonight. Thank you guys all for chiming in. In the comments, feel free to drop your favorite name that you bought this week and your favorite name that you are selling this week. We hope to see you guys next week, same time, same place. Hopefully more places. We're working on it. So